got to first cue it up.
I'm probably in your area too. Everybody who owns a laptop, they're a DJ. Everybody who owns a DSL camera, they're a photographer.
And what I'll do is put up blurbs so you can see what I'm thinking about and why I chose that song. You can see the reaction of the kids, so you can kind of like get an idea of how to use it and what to expect.
Why do you want to charge for something that you have the knowledge of and these other DJs don't have the knowledge of? Share your knowledge, you know?
Right.
But it's DJing's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun too, you know? I'm DJ Mikey Mike. I cover central, northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, parts of New York State.
And I'm Dwayne Dixon, the Hitman DDub from Cleveland, Ohio. And it's time to cue it up. All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to our new episode of Cue It Up with the Hitman DDub and DJ Mikey Mike.
Hello, everybody.
Yep, I was holding my breath for a second because I was so worried about the technical difficulties that we had last week.
Well, you worked hard on it. God bless you. Thank you so much. And let's make this happen. Let's make this live, and let's have everybody enjoy it tonight.
Yep. So let me slide some things around. All right, put you down here, and let's put me on the screen. Then now what happened to you? Let me see. Pin. All right, there we go. I thought Zoom would kind of like save my settings from earlier today.
That's a funny thing with Zoom. Sometimes it will, but most of the time, it'll just revert back to what it was, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You wish it would remember your settings. I know, like the digital cameras, some cameras will, like when you're going to log out, like not log out, but when you go to shut down, you have to set it so it remembers to pick up where it started off, where you stopped it at, so which is a good thing. And then some are just, well, no, you got to reset everything in the camera. And that's how Zoom is. You got to reset it all again.
Yep, that's a pain in the behind. Because I thought I had everything set.
Yeah, yep. It turns around and bites you right behind.
Yep, so you said you had two gigs this weekend? So how did they go?
They went pretty good. Saturday was for the school, and the first gig was good. That was a very, very easy gig, but the school it turned to be difficult with some of the students because they think they can listen to whatever they want to listen to. I got to obey the school rules. I have to play the clean radio edit version of the music. There can't be any cursing, any violence, any use of foul language, slander, the N word, anything like that. And these kids don't understand it because they say it and speak it every day. And not only that, they listen to in their earpods or whatever type of headphones they have, and they're listening to it there. So they think if it's okay there, it's okay to listen to that school. And no, I'm not allowed to play it. So a couple of them got upset with me, but it's not my rule. It's the rule of the school district. And I think it is a rule in Pennsylvania also, but some school districts will let it slide. Wilkes-Barre area will not let it slide, which I don't blame them. Not one bit.
Yeah, I'll have to deal with that next month when I go back to my school and DJ their junior prom.
What it's funny, Um, there were some newer students that came to the school. I don't know where they lived prior to living in Wilkes-Barre area, but the kids that were in eighth grade, because it was middle school, the kids that were in seventh and eighth grade already know me, so they know that I can't play this music there. But now you got the sixth graders. Oh, it's their first dance ever, and boy, oh boy, they want to be. Hey, I'm gonna listen to what my sister or my brother listens to, and then they get that big letdown. Oh, I can't hear that at school. No, I'm sorry.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hello, buddy. How you doing, sir?
Yep. So I have my consultation with the clients that's getting married in June. So it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much just walking them through the Bible app, trying to get their timeline together, and showing where to place their songs and all that. So
What's their lucky date?
June 21st.
Okay, great. I have one June 7th. I have, I think, three or four in June all total. Um, I have one coming up May 17th. I have a bunch of gigs coming up. It's just what I do is I look at my calendar week by week. Because if I start looking a month out, then I'm forgetting about the gigs, not forgetting about like I'm pushing these gigs this week to the back burner because I want to concentrate on these. So I just go week by week.
Hmm.
And it's a lot easier. If I have nothing that week, that's great. Then I can look at next week's gigs and put them in perspective and make it back to what I want to do with video editing now and get stuff done for there, which I haven't gotten any of that done yet lately.
Yep. So my break is going to be over because after I do the black and white ball next Saturday, I got a couple of weeks to get ready for the junior prom. Then I have the wedding at the end of May, and then I have a couple of weeks before I have to do the June wedding. And then Kevin had told me to stay on standby
Okay,
if he
cool.
needs me. So
Now, do you have a backup in case something happens, like an emergency comes up?
um, well, the school one is not a really because the gym teacher is still there. He'll be
Oh,
retiring, so he DJs, so he'll be able to step in.
cool,
It's just a matter
cool.
if he wants to.
Yeah, yeah. Now I here on my end, I have my one buddy DJ Tyler. He's on YouTube and stuff like that, and he was always my go-to guy. But he joined the Air Force, so unfortunately, he's at basic training for the next, I think, 8 to 12 weeks. And then my other backup is DJ Willie.
Mm.
We know him from the chill room. We know him from the round table, and he's my backup. Those two guys, if I'm ever booked and somebody's looking for the date, that's what I pass them on to.
But I always thought about that because it's like because a few times it came real close to where I really wasn't feeling well, but I still did it
Mhm.
anyway. But I always thought about what if something was to happen.
That happened to me one time. I had a wedding and I had 102 fever, and I explained to the bride and groom, I said, listen, I don't want you to get close to me. I have 102 fever. I set microphones over on the table for you for invocation, for toast. And I have my own microphone here. Once everything's done, you could just set them back on the table and I'll gladly come up and pick them up before the guests run up and grab them. And then
Hmm.
I'll be looking for the microphones at the end of the night. We don't want that to happen.
Right. I
We
see
got
Kevin came into the room, and Sean is here.
hello, Sean.
I'm glad you all make it.
Yes, yes,
So last week, at the end of our show, we have like a game where we spin a wheel, and
yes.
on the wheel, whatever the topic is for that week, I gotta take these off. It's like hearing that echo is like nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Wherever the topic is for the week, we put the topic on the wheel and we spin it, and the wheel will pick a topic for us to discuss. And last
Hmm.
week it was all about DJ myths. So when you first start off DJing, some of the things that people will tell you about DJing.
Hmm.
And one of the topics that popped up was, um, is it? It didn't say is it if it was cool. It said if you DJ using only Spotify or streamed songs, you are not a real DJ. So the consensus was you're a DJ, but Kevin said you're a gambling DJ because
Yes.
relying heavily on the internet is very risky, as we learned back in January when Tidal went out. And then yesterday, I don't know how many people had Zoom meetings where Zoom kept going in and out when I was on it, but I heard it was down at period. So
Yes.
not only is streaming bad, but I also want to give like advice on where you can get music to download. And our show is interactive, so if you're in the chat, make sure you chime in because I would like to hear what your guys' thoughts are. And Sean said
Yep.
that's 100% right, Kevin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I came up with a list of 10 um, DJ pools, and the list starts from the most expensive to the least expensive. So as we go down the list, put in the chat what DJ pool you have that you subscribe to, and what features when you're looking for a DJ pool. What features are you looking for in that DJ pool? So do you see the slide for the list? The 10 DJ record pools. Do you see that on your end?
No, I don't.
Let me see. Did it change up? Why did it stop?
There we go.
Move forward. Make sure I got it. All right. The 10 DJ pools I have, starting with the first one, is promo only. And promo only can run from anywhere from $12 to $100 per month. And they have extensive audio and video content. And I noticed, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure because I got all these screens, make sure you all can see it too.
Hmm.
When I went to Promo Only's website, I noticed that they have different kind of categories. I guess you can buy those. I saw a lot of $12 ones, and I saw one for like $75 on up to $100. I think the $100 was like the platinum pack, wherever that
Yeah,
entails.
I think they have it broken down into like pop, um, rap, country, hip hop, and it's per category per month. And then if you want all of them, I think that's the platinum package, which you get all of them. Then for video, I think that's an additional fee, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not sure if they have karaoke yet or not. I know there are, I think, one or two platforms out there that do have a karaoke version. The one nice thing with promo only also is some DJs, and I know a few here in my area that still DJ with CDs. You could put an order in, they'll burn two copies of a CD for you, send it to you, so you could take one to your gigs and keep one at home like a backup. So if something happens to the one that you have that backup one, you reburn it, and away you go again. But when you reburn it, you don't take that master copy out. You leave that master copy at home, and you take the other one out with you. Then if I'm not mistaken, my buddy happened to lose or something happened to his second master copy. So he got in touch with Promo Only. They pulled up that order and they had every song that he wanted that was on that CD. And they just reburnt them two CDs. They did charge him for it, but they reburnt two CDs for him, shipped them right back out to him. And so it is a digital pull that we could pull from. And it's also, they could burn a CD for you.
Okay. Because I know Ella Skins at one time was talking about still getting CDs.
Hmm.
And I see that Buddy uses promo only. He got the $100 package. He says that's the way to go.
Yep.
And he also has a Stenda mix for his videos. Sean has BPM Supreme and DJ City.
Yep. There-
And Buddy
One of
says that promo only, they are licensed by the artists.
Yes, and I think they are the only company that's licensed by the artist. Um, the one thing nice about BPN Supreme is you're not just streaming the music. When you click on it, you actually download it into your system.
Mhm.
So it's not like, okay, I'm gonna stream this song, I'm gonna stream this song. No, you're downloading it into your system. If it's an external drive, if it's to your internal drive, wherever you have it set up to download to, that's where it'll go. So that's the nice thing about BPM Supreme.
Hmm. But only thing, but that's why I was asking the other day. Anybody in the chat, especially those that use BPM Supreme, I know there's a 3 download limit for each track or song. Now, what happens when you reach the your 3 download limit? So, for example, if you click on a song to download and then something happens and it doesn't download all the way, then you click on it again and download and it mess up, and then you burn your third one. What happen? Do you know what happens after you get your third one? Do it like reset after a month or when your subscription renews? So if you know the answer, drop that in the chat for me because I would like to know.
I really like BPM Supreme. That's a great program. Now, I'm not sure if it's Deezer. What they'll let you do is download it. So stay in your cache. So this way you may get to your gig and you'll be offline, but you're still able to play the song
Mm-hmm.
because it's already downloaded into your cache and it'll play for you. You don't have to worry about hooking up to the internet or nothing. It's already there. You're good to go. But it's not like downloading the song that you have it, that you own it. It's just downloading it for that playtime. That's it. So that's it. When I sign up for a DJ pool, I want to make sure I own the copy of it. If it, physical CD or if it's an MP3, it's mine. I don't want to have to keep going back to the pool. So if I make a gig this week and then go back to a gig next week and somebody requests the same song, so now I gotta go back, type it all in again. No, this way I'd rather like BPM Supreme, um, promo only. You actually own the physical copy of it.
Okay. So Buddy, of course, said you're you're just screwed. But then Sean says you can't email the support group to get it reset.
Well, thank you, Sean.
Yep.
That's great information for us and for the other DJs here too.
The next one, I heard of them, but I really never looked into them. The next one is Zip DJ, and they run $25 to $45 a month, and it says they're strong in EDM and house genres. So that's probably why I never really got into them too heavily.
Yeah, I've never heard of them, and that's a genre that I very, very rarely play. I'll play some EDM, but house genres very rarely do I get requests for any type of a house genre.
Yeah, I'm pretty much mainstream. If it's if if it's close to that genre, so I'm
Mhm.
not the one that can go deep house or deep EDM. Mine's is more so mainstream.
Yes, yes.
So that's
And
that's about the gist of I know about EDM.
what's making a good comeback around here in northeastern Pennsylvania? We're considered the coal region.
Mhm.
is country music. I mean, it's making a big comeback, and also classic rock, like from the '60s through the mid '70s. That made a big comeback again. I'm like, it just dies out and it comes back. '50s have had, they're always around. I don't care where you go. I get requests for the '50s from young couples that are in their 20s. And it's like, you weren't even around. You probably your parents weren't even around when this songs came out, but they like the music.
Mhm.
You always satisfy the customer.
But I noticed country is also um, crossing over. So it's not like
Yes.
straight country anymore. So there's like a mix of EDM. There's a country mix of with rap artists and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa rap artists trying to be country singers. So there's a lot
Yes.
of cross genre going on between
I,
everybody.
I think that's good because it's giving the people that just like to listen to country, it's giving them an opportunity to listen to some of these rap artists or hip hop artists or pop artists. They're saying, well, they're not that bad. And then you got like Taylor Swift. She was strictly country, and now she's basically pop now. So she made the conversion from country over to pop, and people like her. I mean, I know some DJs that say, "Oh my God, I do not want another Taylor Swift request." But again, you gotta satisfy the customer.
Mhm.
There's music I play that I do not like, but then there's music I like. I know the customer's not gonna like, like Eminem. I love Eminem. Can't play that at a wedding.
Mhm.
Just it's something that you don't play at a wedding.
You don't play Lose Yourself and
Um,
Slim Shady? God, they request that all the time up here.
I'll play them. But the ones that get requested here, they're the X-rated versions of his music. Very rarely will I get the clean versions requested. It's just, you have this. I'm like, yeah, but I have it. You can't play it here because it's a wedding. It just doesn't fit into the scope of the feeling for the night. Um, Another is like death metal. I like some death metal, but I'm not going to play that at a wedding unless the bride and groom want it. Otherwise, no, that's not going to happen. And most of the times, the bride and groom, like my wedding planner, I have what genres of music they want to hear, and that's what I usually stick by.
Okay, Sean says Eminem Shake That is a banger. Yup.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a banger.
And then he said real country fans hate anything after 2010.
Well, yeah and no, Sean. I beg to differ with that because well, maybe your area, yes. In this area, no. It's like country has made such a big comeback around here. It's unbelievable. I mean, for weddings, even for the school dance I did this past weekend, they're asking for different country artists. I'm like, oh, you like country? Yeah, oh yeah. Then they're asking for a disco, and I say, yeah, like say Casey and the Sunshine Band, for instance. Yeah, I said I have that song. Oh my God, do you know that song? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be 60 years old. I know that song. But Shake That, definitely. I love that song. I wish I got more requests for that, but I don't. It's like, come on, people, they're hitting me with this and that, and they don't request that song. I don't know why. I have no idea. Come on, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, but
Why
they
don't you
don't
just
want to.
play it?
There
You
have
know,
been times.
you know. Brian says just play what you play. Play don't necessarily always play what they ask for. Play what you know that they want to hear. So
Yes,
you could
I.
slide it in.
Oh yeah, if I'm doing a wedding and I know the crowd's really into it, and it's usually after the elderly people leave, then that's when I'll slide it in. And man, the younger generation goes nuts. The one song that everybody goes nuts for, and it's even people my age. Yeah, I mean, everybody loves Yeah.
Mm,
You know, it's like boom, you put that on, it's like boom. It's like the dance floor is packed, you know, so you can hit them up with the chicken dance right after that, and they'll
mm.
stay out there, you know.
So let's move down the list. The next up is direct music service, and they run $30 to $65 a month, and they have exclusive remixes and edits. So I hear a lot of people that talk about DMS for the remixes.
I heard of them. I haven't used them. And yes, I know they're into the remixes, and again, a lot of clients love remixes, and then you'll get clients that despise it. It's like, well, it's a good song.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, we don't want to hear it. If if I'm getting requests for it, you mind if I throw it on? And then finally, you know, they'll cave a little and say, okay, yeah, but not that many, one or two. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I'm listening to you on it. So I'm just happy they're giving me the opportunity to play one or two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decide, oh, I like it. Do you have this or do you have that? You know, or is this or that in there? You look, boom, you throw it out for them.
Right. I like remixes that sound close to the original, but a little more current. So a lot of like your September's outstanding, those old songs that we are normally play at the beginning for the older crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I like to find a good remix or a redrum of that stays kind of true to what the song was, but have that current flow and feel to it, so the younger
Yes.
people also enjoy it as well.
And now with stems, we could do that. I mean, some DJs will do it on the fly, but I would rather do it prior to the event and have it set up so I could surprise the guest. And they're like, oh my God, this song is this, but wait, the singer, it's wait, no. And then they're back and forth in their mind, but then they're out there dancing. So, which is a great thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You hit them with surprises, they'll love you.
Yep. All right, the next one is Club Killers, which is $35 per month, and they specialize in EDM and club-friendly remixes. I looked into them at one time, but I'm thinking they were one of the ones where they ask you to verify that you're either a club DJ or a radio DJ, and you had to send in some information and all that stuff.
I yeah, I've heard of other record pools in the past that did that, and they want to know your income level for your DJing at a club or whatever. So I don't know if they're just trying to single their people that were logging in or signing up for their service. I guess they didn't want too many people there. I don't know how big their servers were. If they weren't enough servers or enough bandwidth to handle the people downloading everything, so they had just a select few going in there.
But I'm wondering, now that you brought it up, I'm wondering because sometimes it's it's more cost effective to down subscribe to a DJ pool for $20 or $50, and then cancel after a month. But after you gone in and you just downloaded every single song, if you was to charge them for every single song, it'll be way more than the subscription. So probably that's why they have that in place to verify that
Yes,
you're actually a DJ and not just some Joe Smo just trying to get a bunch of free songs, extra
yes.
songs.
I know at BPM Supreme, I was with them, then I left them. I was gone for a couple of years from them, and I came back. They had everything still what I already had downloaded. I was like, wow, they have this set up really good now. I know I don't have to download that song again. Um it was nice that they didn't forget about me.
Yep. So, Sean, who has the great remixes? Club Killers, or were you referring to DMS? And Kevin says his source 4 tracks are just the radio versions instead of the, I'm going to assume, instead of the remixes.
Okay.
All right, the next one we're going to go to is BPM Supreme, which is $23 a month to $35 a month, and they have curated playlists and exclusive edits. So this is the one that I have, and I don't pay month to month. I pay the 3 month package.
Yes.
So you can do like month to month, 3 month, I think 6 month, and a year. And each time you go up a tier, they take a certain amount of dollars off
Yeah.
per that subscription. But I do like the fact that sometimes they'll get like special DJs to make a special playlist, like summer jams or barbecue or sporting events or any kind of, almost like Spotify, to do the
Yes.
same thing. And they also have charts that you can look at or on trending songs. So when you go there and you trying to just update your music library, you can go there and look at the charts or see what's new and what's trending and moving up and down that everybody's playing and downloading.
Buddy, why did you get rid of them, pal? Buddy have them, but he got rid of them, he said.
Mm-hmm.
I had them, and what's nice with them is too, they have like the short edits. They have the dirty version, they have the clean version, and they label it dirty, clean. What they're a great service. It has changed over the years. Going back when I first signed up with them, everything was so simplified. Now it's a little bit harder to navigate. I guess once you get used to it, you'll navigate through it 1, 2, 3. But it's just it's a great service. Like I said, it's you're downloading the music, you're downloading the clean version. And when I have them, I like to download the clean. I like to download the dirty because you never know. You're out somewhere else DJing and they want to hear the dirty version,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all adults. You got it, then. So, but if it's a sign that you're going to play in school, you got the clean version. So when I do, and I don't know if Serato allows you to do this, but when I bring it up in virtual DJ, I color code the clean versions and the dirty versions. The clean are in green, the dirty are in red. So if I type it in and I see red and say I'm doing a school dance, and the student will go, well, there it is right there on your screen. And I'm like, nope, that's the dirty version. No, but that's the song I want to hear. Nope, that's the dirty version. I'm sorry, I can't play it. So I color code, especially the dirty and clean music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually I play the clean version, and they really don't request the dirty versions, except for when I did the staff Christmas party. And it's funny, playing a dirty version is like, after those teachers requested it, I couldn't look at them the same way when I went back to school that Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, again, today's world has changed so much since I was a kid. I'm saying kid, like we were in high school. Everything has changed so much. Back when I was in school, you listen to Ozzy, you listen to Black Sabbath, you listen to Kiss, you're a devil worshiper. You listen to Grateful Dead, you listen to Pink Floyd, oh boy, you're a pothead. Now you hear some of this music, it's not on the radio, the clean version's on the radio, so the parents are going, oh yeah, that's a good song, you can play that. I said, well, no, here's the version they want to hear. And I give them my headphones, they're like, oh no, you can't play that. I said, well, that's what your child is listening to. They're 17, 18 years old. They're not really a child, but that's the version they want to hear. So you got to play. You have to have that safe margin. It's something that you just can't, boom, throw the dirty version on.
Mm-hmm.
No matter, unless the parents say it's okay, then okay. Or unless the bride and groom say it's okay, then okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who are signing the check.
But yeah, it's like a couple of Biggie Small songs. I want to say Kanye West, but it's a couple of songs I never heard the dirty version until I accidentally played it. I was like, it. What they were saying changed the whole outlook of that song. I felt that it made the song worse instead of good. Or, I shouldn't say good. I shouldn't say it made it worse because I guess I was used to hearing the clean version. I didn't realize they said all the extra stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep.
All right,
I,
before we move on, Buddy said they have too many remixes, plus they are not licensed. That's why I stopped having music videos. So I'm going to assume he's still talking about BPM Supreme.
yeah,
Kevin says, any better or worse with the song metadata? Um, I guess with the data, I still always go and kind of like change it anyway. So, but I
yeah.
do notice that there's more songs that I would download, and there's already a cue point set in
Mhm.
the track.
Yes,
And
yes.
I know they used to do like a special Serato flip versions of some of the songs, but I haven't seen that lately. And Kevin also said, "What did I listen to if I'm a blankhead?"
Rubber Band Man.
All right, let's hit the next one because I want to hit the topic because the topic was supposed to be pressure.
Yep.
I want to make sure I
Uh,
get to that one. All right,
but also, pressure is
we'll go
playing the right
quickly
music.
with the other ones. Heavy hits. I heard of them, but I don't know too much about them. And they're $24.99 per month with exclusive content and DJ tools.
I never heard of them,
And there
and
goes my Zoom this one out. So let me just keep going. All right, it came back on.
okay,
DJ Pooh Records. This is the other one that I use. It's $22.99 per month with diverse genre collections. And what I like about them is they're almost like the if BPM don't have it because usually BPM deals with more so the top
radio.
radio hits.
Yeah,
Whereas if I need to go back and find an older song, they will have it. Like something that you might find on Spotify. So I feel that their record pool is more diverse. But going back to what Buddies had said earlier about licensing to the artist, I don't know about how that all works because for a moment I did X Mix because they were running some kind of promotion. And I was noticing that a lot of X-Mix versions were on this website, and a couple of other versions that was supposed to be exclusive was
hmm,
on this website. So
okay.
I don't know how legit they are, but they're legit enough for me to go and
If
pay a
I'm
lower
not,
amount. And then with them, they also have the monthly, the multiple month ones, and years. And the more months, of course, you pay more, but if you divide those months into what it would cost for 1 month, you'll end up saving because they knock down a little bit for each tier you go up.
yeah, yes. I had one client told me that they have YouTube Music. Okay, yeah, like that's what you want. That's your preference, but that's not a streaming service, you know.
Yep. And then Sean says, I give my couples the option for clean or dirty. And to quote Two Live Crew, they can be as nasty as they want to be, especially
Yeah,
towards the end after they get some drinks in them.
yes, that's I usually if I'm gonna play the dirty version, it's towards the end of the night. This way, again, all the elderly people are basically gone, and if there's only a handful of the elderly people left there, they're usually so intoxicated. they're singing along right with the song anyhow because they used to say those words when they were younger.
Hmm. And the next one is what I started off with. My MP3 pool, which is $20 a month, and it covers major and independent labels. And at the time that I had them, they were cool, but I moved to BPM Supreme because Cool Thing was every video back in the day when he first started would always shout out BPM Supreme. So I ended up giving them a try. And what I kind of like didn't like about my MP3 pool, maybe they changed it now. They were kind of slow and behind getting the hits. Songs will come
Yeah.
out, and when I go to download them, that's been out on the radio. They were it was there wasn't there. It would take them about a month or two before they end up getting it.
Yes. Now, I seen Buddy made a comment. He only plays clean. Again, I prefer playing clean, especially for a Sweet 16, graduation party, weddings, especially in the beginning of the night, because you have a lot of elderly couples there. And if it's just like the wedding party and a few, maybe 20, 10, 20 other guests are the same age group and they're into that club stuff or they're into that dirty lyric stuff, and the bride comes up and says, "Hey, Mike, can you put this on?" And it might be the dirty version of it. And I'll look around, make sure there's no elderly people there because I don't want to offend them.
Hmm.
It just makes me feel bad that I offend them and that it's offending me because I'm playing this music that it is a good song, but take the curse words out of it. It's still going to be a good song, you
Hmm.
know?
And then Buddy says, always clean for me. And then Kevin chimes in with, only got so much space. So I guess he
Yeah.
doesn't try to do both. And speaking about space, I gotta go through and clean out my music library because I'm one of the hoarders. I still got songs that I don't
Oh,
even need anymore. And our last DJ record pool is Digital DJ Pool Music for DJs, which is $10 a month, which is affordable and unlimited downloads. And I want to say, I don't remember a limit being on my MP3 pool, or I noticed definitely not a limit on DJ record pool.
hmm.
So I don't think there's a limit on those. But those are the 10 DJ pools you can choose from if you want to go from streaming to something that's more reliable. So I hope that answered some of the questions, all right, about where do DJs get their music. Now let's get into our hot topic for this week. And our hot topic is, what's the biggest stressor you deal with as a DJ?
Hmm.
So again, thanks,
There,
Kevin.
there's so much actually that we could deal with from pressure from the clients, pressure from the venue, stress from the clients, stress from the venue, stress from different things at home. Like in my case, it's not stress really, but my mom has dementia, and I got to make sure that she's in a good state of mind when I'm going to leave to go DJ because my son's coming with me and my wife is here with her. But then you're thinking in the back of your brain, is she going to act up for my wife or whatever? And then, just everyday life, there's stress and pressure in everyday life. And then you add the DJing onto it. You got to think of it, okay, you go to work, you punch in, and then say you work from 7 to 3, and you punch out at 3 o'clock, and you leave that job behind. As a DJ, yes, we are our own boss. Yes, we could set our own schedule, but we are putting in so much time that the bride and groom say it's for a wedding. The bride and groom don't realize how much time we put into their event. And then they might pop in and say, well, listen, I don't want this song, but I want this song. And it might be only a couple hours before, it might be an hour before you're packing up to get ready to go to leave. Now you gotta switch stuff around. So it's like, oh my God. So just every little thing could add up. And then if it all adds up at once, you're just like, oh my God. Like, what am I doing? Like, why am I letting this client push me around? Why am I getting upset about this client pushing me around? Yeah, you have to learn to balance everything, take it with a grain of salt. And, again, the clients can't say in our case, the client's always right. 9 times out of 10, the DJ's the right one. And one of the stressful things too is dealing with a wedding planner, especially an inexperienced wedding planner. I worked with one who was right after COVID, and she told me after introductions, she came over to me because the bride was dancing with her dad, and she was Mike. I said, yes, just say her name was Nancy. I said, yes, Nancy, what's up? She goes, you know what? You screwed everything up. I said, excuse me? She goes, you did the introductions completely wrong. I said, wait, what are you talking about? She goes, well, when you introduce a bridal party, you start off with the bride and groom, and then you work your way back down to their parents. I said, how many weddings have you done? She goes, well, this is my ninth wedding. I said, since COVID lifted? Oh, no. I started before COVID, but this is my ninth wedding now. I said, okay, well, I said, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. And she goes, what's that? I said, the first 8 weddings that you did, you screwed up. This is the way you're supposed to do it. Parents of the bride, parents of the groom, bridal party, best man, maid of honor, matron of honor, possibly ring bearer and flower girl, and then the bride and groom. She didn't know what to say. She just stormed and walked away. But to find out later on, after the wedding, the bride and groom were very upset with her for what she did. She just started sending people into the venue, not even as the couples that were set up. She was just picking them at random. And then I got to the point I didn't know who was walking out from behind the closed doors. So I went, I stood by the closed doors. I said, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this time we have our bridesmaid and our grooms. And they came walking on. I looked, I said, okay, we got Kevin and we got Stephanie. So it was just, I had to make sure I knew each couple, what they looked like. And that puts so much stress on me. And then to have her tell me that I did it wrong, then DJing 21 years. Yeah, we all make mistakes. We are all human, but never. The only time you ever introduce the bride and groom first, if that's the only ones that you are introducing. So stress for a DJ is wanting to be a DJ because you have to put up with the public. You must, you're not kissing their butt, but you have to learn to deal with the public, and you have to learn how to sway them in a way that, oh, a bride and groom especially, they're very narrow-minded and tunnel vision. So it's my day and that's it. They're going to do what they want to do. It is their day. But I always tell the bride and groom, listen, your guests are coming to your wedding. What they're going to give you as a gift, and then your gift back to them is the food and the music. 6 months from now, will they remember what they ate? Most likely not. But they'll remember if that was a good DJ or a bad DJ. And I don't mean by just playing the music. I mean by, was that DJ ignorant to guests? Did he just happen to walk by somebody, maybe hit them with his shoulder going to the bathroom? Also, like, it could be a female DJ. Was she ignorant to the guest? Was she ignorant to say she went up to the bar to go get a soft drink? Because one thing I'm totally against when I'm DJing, no alcoholic beverages. There's no possible way. But was she ignorant to guests up by the bar? Was she ignorant to the barmaid or bartender? They're there, they're doing their job. You're the DJ, you're doing your job. So when you're there, you're representing yourself, you're representing your company. Make sure you are kind to every guest, every single guest. I don't know if I did I hit that pretty good or no.
You hit a lot of key points. You will see in a second. So
Okay.
mine will be the anxiety of the event, especially like coming up because I
Mhm.
have so many back to back events, and most of my events are rarely do I have two or a group of them that are the same. Mine's go from it could be a church event, a kids event, a wedding, different
Yeah.
kind of events. So I have to plan differently for each one. So trying to find that time to plan, and I end up finding out that I end up over planning, which I guess is a good thing because when you get there and it takes some of that stress off knowing that you over plan and everything's going to work out. But over planning and being stressed out that I'm going to either leave something at home or I'm going to forget this certain detail or I come with one set playlist and end up having to change it right there on the fly because once you get there, it's something totally different. So that's my stressors.
Yes. Well,
And I
I
know,
could
well,
see
let me see. Somebody has said something about virtual. Oh, Sean. Sean says that virtual DJ has a built-in pool, and I forget the name of it. It's
oh
not
yes, they
Deezer,
do
is
have
it?
their own they have their own karaoke, video, and music pool. They do have their own.
Yep.
Um,
And
again,
then Buddy said his anxiety is missing the episode of Cue It Up. So like, follow, and kick that bill.
thank you, buddy. And same thing with the DJ lounge.
And then we have Sean. He says inexperienced coordinators and planners are definitely the most stressful part.
Yes.
And then Kevin went on to say, by going to rehearsal, you get to know them from increased contact. And that's another thing. I feel more comfortable, no matter how big or small the event is, to talk to the client.
Oh yeah.
When I first got into the wedding DJing part, I was always the guy that they will call last minute when somebody couldn't make it or for some reason overbooked or whatever. So I was
Hmm.
basically going in blind all the time to DJ a
Yes.
wedding. And the only thing I would get a couple of days before would be like a playlist and the names of the people. And then I had to go and meet them or meet the person paying it, which is usually the parent. And they're expecting so and so to be there, but they see me. It's like that creates an awkward and very stressful moment.
Yes. 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 Um, Not only that, I mean, when you get thrown into it that way, it's great that they gave you a playlist and the names to introduce. I got the one wedding that I did. The bride never sent me a playlist or anything. She just wrote down all the names on a napkin. That was it. And then she said, play what you want to play for my introduction. Play what you want to play for my first dance. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. You got to pick out at least three songs, four songs. Your introduction, your first dance, your dance with your father, the groom and mom song. And then I'll play whatever I want after that. But those four songs is a definite for the bride and
Mm-hmm.
groom to pick out. There's no go ahead, DJ. You just play what you want to play. I no, I will not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anxiety prior to the gig. I'll give you an example. I did back to back weddings, and it was funny. Both brides' names were the same. I'll stick with Stephanie. So we had Stephanie and Stephanie, and then we had Dave and David. And I didn't know David was so particular in being called David because on the contract he had written Dave. On the wedding planner, he had written Dave in the one section. Then on the other section, he put David. So when I went to introduce the bride and groom, I said, ladies and gentlemen, all right, let's give a big warm welcome to our, bride and groom of the day, Stephanie and Dave. And he looked at me and I'm like, what did I do wrong? And then afterwards, he's like, Mike, it's no, it's not your mistake. He said, it's my mistake. I wrote down Dave, then I wrote down David, then I wrote down Dave, then I wrote down David. I said, well, we talked about all this. And you said you didn't mind. It could be Dave or David, but when it came upon that he had to be introduced and he had to walk out to the public, at that point in time, in his mind, he wanted David, but never informed me of that. So that's the anxiety I get, especially when I have back-to-back weddings and they have the same names like Stephanie and David, Stephanie and David. It's like, oh boy, or if you're doing a same-sex wedding, because as DJs, we're so used to saying Mr. and Mrs. So now you may have a Mr. and Mr. Mr. and Mr. I just had a same-sex wedding, and for the week of the wedding, I just kept on saying Mrs. and Mrs., Mrs. and Mrs., Mrs. and Mrs. throughout the course of the whole week, every day, because I don't want to screw up the both brides' day. I mean, it was a beautiful wedding, but if I introduced them as Mr. and Mrs., that makes me look like a total fool. It makes me look like I didn't do my job. I didn't do my homework. So gotta stay on top of stuff like that.
Yep. So let's see what they say in the chat. Um, all right, Sean says, we have done bride and groom first a couple of times because they wanted to watch their wedding party entrances. Each couple was doing some special costumes, and the
Okay.
bride and groom scored each one. And then Kevin said, this is a silver issue. Just
So
say couple. Go to do that even for bridal shows. So I guess they got their own private thing going.
yeah. Um, it's me. I always meet with the bride and groom at least 4 meetings, but the week before the wedding, so their wedding is on Saturday. I meet with them. I don't want to put pressure on them that week, but the week before, that's when I have my final meeting with them. And then I ask them, now, this is all done. I have everything typeset. Are there any corrections you want? If they say no, everything's perfect. Mike, this is the way we want. Okay, here's my pen. Sign it, initial it, and date it. This way, when next week comes, next Saturday, and I'm at the reception and I introduce them and I say Dave, and he wanted David, but on that wedding planner sheet, he has Dave written down. That's how I'm introducing the mass. It's just it's protecting yourself. It's you have to protect yourself in our world. And I understand about the bride and groom judging bridal party as they're coming in. That is great. I mean, I've never had that happen, but I think I would like still to have the bride and groom come in first, or not first, last. There's somebody there that's recording everybody coming in the entrance, and they're going to load everything up on Facebook, whatever platform they're using. What I tell my couples when they're going to get married, I say, create a hashtag. Like whatever. Like me and my wife got married at 11/11/95, so it's MTLT 11/11/95. Hashtag MTLT 11/11/95. And everybody, I'll make an announcement at the wedding. Please use that hashtag if you're uploading to whatever platform you're uploading to. And the photographer could be at one place at one time. I don't care if there's one or two photographers there, one place, one time. So they could be both over there, the one could be over there, but something happens over here. So they don't see it. So they don't get to capture that moment. But there's somebody in the crowd, that mighty cell phone, boom, they snap a picture of it, they upload it. And if they use that as a hashtag, the one couple like that they're waiting for, they ended up with over 9,000 pictures with from that hashtag, and they were ecstatic with. They're like, "Why did we hire a photographer?" And then I had to explain to them, a photograph from a cell phone is nowhere near as good as a photograph from a mirrorless camera. The depth of field is totally different, and it's hard to explain that to them, but I did, and I got through to them. The pictures did turn out great from the photographer and also from all the guests at their venue, just at their wedding. They had so many pictures, videos. They were in awe with that. So that's another good thing. If you're a wedding DJ, tell your couples to add a hashtag and just get index cards and write the hashtag. Put at least 3 or 4 on each table, and have your DJ make an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, there's index cards at the table with a hashtag on it. If you're taking pictures, loading up the social media, please use that hashtag. It's for the bride and groom. And it turns out to be a great thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun,
Okay.
but it is.
So I also asked this question to the people that's subscribed to our Cue It Up Facebook group, as well as the DJ Help Desk. The same question, and there was a poll. And so let's go over the results of the poll real quick. And Kevin says use term couple instead of Mr. and Mr. or to Miss. Avoid all problems this way. Also best to do during code talk at a bridal show.
Well, Kev, I asked a couple how they want to be introduced, and they specifically said, I always ask every couple, how do you want to be introduced? They specifically said we want to be introduced as Mrs. and Mrs. Jessica Studebaker. So that's how they wanted it. I will do whatever the bride and groom, or bride and bride, or groom and groom want. Whatever they tell me to do, that's what I'll do. So I don't want to say the couple. It's just, that's too vague. You're not introducing the bride and bride, or groom and groom, or bride and groom. They're the main attraction for the night. So you have to give them a little bit higher step on the totem pole. It's just the couple. And I never say, like right now I'm referring to as the bride and groom. I always refer to them by their first names all the time during the course of the night. Listen, hey, look at Kim out there on the dance floor. Look at Joe. He's doing a split or whatever, Hey, Joe's burning up the dance floor. Never refer to him as bride and groom, bride and groom, bride and groom. That gets to be annoying, even for the guest.
Yeah, but I guess he was saying not during the intro. So let's give it up for a couple. So I guess he
Yeah,
said not to do it during the intro. Yeah, but I have like a question. That's one of the questions in my questionnaire on my Bible app, so they can like tell me how they want to be introduced and referred to throughout the night. So that's how I handle it.
Okay.
All right, now let's get to the poll. Again, I put the poll up in our Facebook group page, the Cue It Up Facebook group page, and also up on the DJ Help Desk. And these are the results. So, for long hours, and I should have put down how many people voted. I think I gotta look. I don't know why I want to say 80 something. I couldn't remember if it was this one or the one last week's. But this one, 77% said long hours and lack of sleep is their anxiety. 23% said lifting heavy gear and physical strain. 11% said unpredictable clients and crowds, and that was your anxiety. And I want to say I think it was Sean that mentioned that. Mine was mental burnout and anxiety. And 31% agreed with that. 2% said lack of support and understanding, and a few of the comments in the comment sections were of women. Being a woman in like a male dominant kind of occupation, they kind of like get that kind of like
a female DJ, they're intimidated
right
by the crowd,
or just like a girl drummer or a girl bass player. They don't get the same kind of respect that a guy would. 11% said balancing DJ life with personal life. And then here's the write-in ones. Alex had said rude, entitled crowds. Brandon has said office work. I'm a great DJ, not so great of a business owner. And that's me as well. So maybe he needs to check out Sean's the business DJ school. So get some pointers. Scott said all of the above. And Kevin has said keep your calendars full enough to stay full-time in the business. So that was the poll results. And then in the comment sections, these were the 5 like main talking points. Long hours was 37%. 20% of the comments were lifting heavy gear and physical strain. 10% was unpredictable clients or crowds. 27% had mentioned something about mental burnout and anxiety, and 7% said the lack of support. And these are some of the things they said. So as far as the mental burnout part, they said DJs juggling gigs, marketing, and life feel overwhelmed. Constantly being on is mentally draining. Always, when you have a certain standard for yourself, a high standard, and trying to always live up to that standard can be taxing. Many love DJing, but admit the mental toll is very real. And for the people that had picked long hours and lack of sleep, they said late nights and early morning leads to sleep deprivations. DJs often get 3 to 5 hours of sleep before returning to daily routines, especially if you have another job and DJing is not your main source of income. And parenting and full-time jobs after gigs intensify exhaustion. And the next one, client and crowd stress. Dealing with entitled and unrealistic clients is stressful. Some want champagne services, but for bare money, and that's what Buddy was alluding to on Tuesday. The difference between going after the low-end DJ and higher, more expensive DJ. And energy-draining gigs are a common trigger. And for physical strain, lifting heavy gear, load-ins, and lack of help take a toll. Over time, this labor wears on the body and mind, and combined with mental fatigue, it can be overwhelming. And then those that said lack of support, it said friends and family often don't understand DJ demands. I can attest to that one because they don't understand the long hours and all the extra. There's a lot of extra prep that goes on before you actually go out and actually DJ the gig. DJs feel dismissed with comments like it's just music, and emotional pressure leads to feeling isolated. And that's why it's nice to join a support group or join in on some of our TV shows, like, or I shouldn't say TV shows, but live streams like Cue It Up, the DJ Roundtable, and the business DJ school, and Time to Spin, where you can actually, you may not be on the live with them, but you can still participate in the chat, and then you can get ideas, and then we can talk and help support each other. Some of the
Yeah,
quotes that came out of those comments: people see the highlight reel and not behind the scenes stress. Clients want premium but don't want to pay premium. It's not just press and play, it's performance, preparation, and pressure. And preparation will definitely lower the stress level. The more prepared you are, the more you don't have to worry about when you get to the gig as far as what to do at this point or what to play and all that other stuff, because you prepare and then you have a backup plan. So that's how you
yes.
can get alleviate some of those stressors. And the last one is balancing work, life, and DJing is a mental gymnastic routine. So those are the results from our poll question.
I'll tell you, I was looking at Kevin's comment, and he said, in general, talk with the guest after. Um, I make a point of it, I'm there early enough. I'm all set up. I don't come to the event dressed up because I get there early enough and then I dress up after I'm set up. And then the guests start arriving and stuff. And I'm making a point of it to go up and talk to every guest. Hey, I'm the DJ, I'm Mikey Mike, and just call me Mike. If you have any requests, because the bride and groom are accepting requests tonight, hit me up with a request. If it's on their list to play, or it's okay for me to play it, I will definitely try to get it on for you. And once you make your present known, you don't have to go up to every guest there, but if you go up to see if they're, well, weddings today have changed so much since COVID. I mean, I remember doing weddings 300 people. Now a big wedding is 125 people. So say it's a big wedding, it's 125 people. And you hit 40 or 50 of the guests that are there. Introduce yourself to them. They will spread your name around 1, 2, 3 to everybody else, and they'll, the guests will come up and start talking to you. I'm not the type of DJ that says, "Well, whoa, 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 back up. This is my area." I mean, if they come up with a drink or something, yeah, I will say, "Well, no drinks back, or I'm sorry," But otherwise, if you want to come back and talk to me for a few minutes, I'll just say Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell, not Bat Out of Hell, Paradise, but in Dashboard Lights. It's like an 8-minute song. Someone wants to come back and talk to me, fine. I had an elderly gentleman, was roughly in his late 70s, early 80s, and he's like, "Where's the music coming from? Where's the records at?" I'm like, "Well, sir, there's no more records." "Well, how do you have tapes?" And no, sir, no tapes. "Well, you have those compact discs?" "No, sir, I don't have them either." "Well, then where the hell's the music coming from?" I said, "Well, it's coming from inside my computer on the hard drive or my external hard drive here." "You mean music can come off that?" I'm like, "Yes, sir, it can." So it was something that he learned that day. And being kind of courteous to those guests goes a long, long way. Believe me. Um, 21, a little over 21 years I've been doing this. I get anxiety before every single wedding about the introductions. I I just it's like you go hunting. I was a hunter until I messed up my back, and you get buck fever. That buck comes out of the bush, and you're like, "Oh, Jesus, look at the rack on him." Here, you may end up getting that deer. You go up, you look at the rack, and it's only a wide buck or a 5-pointer. But man, you swear when he came out of the bushes, that was a 10-pointer. So same thing with the introductions. It's like, oh man, you start going over stuff in your head, and it's okay. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up. One thing I did start doing now for the introductions of the bridal party, a lot of the couples don't want the last name said. They just want the first name. And even for the parents, and a lot of the parents, I just by the first name, like, okay, no problem. So I started implementing that through every wedding party or every couple I'm dealing with. And I will ask them, do you want the last names? And, well, if you want to, I said, well, my feeling on it is you're the guest of honor that night. And everybody else, you might have a bridal party couple that's married, they're walking in together. I don't want to say Mr. and Mrs. Kobasi. And then, okay, the parents are Ham and the other one's horseradish, Mr. and Mrs. Ham and Mr. and Mrs. Horseradish. The only two that should be called Mrs. and Mrs. or Mr. and Mrs. is the bride and groom, or the bride and bride, or groom and groom. They're the only ones that should have that attached to their names. And they're who's everybody's there to see them. So that's why I think they're the main topic of the night.
Okay, so we coming to the end of our show, and I would like to make sure everyone listening, if you haven't done so already, make sure you join our Facebook group. Where? Make sure you join our Facebook group. You can just type in "cueitup" in the search, or you're more than welcome to type in this long generic name. But in the Facebook group, I put like a chart. So those that are feeling stressed, according to this chart, a lot of it is because we don't get the proper rest. So therefore our minds are not rested. So we was able to get the proper rest. A lot of those stresses would pretty much go away. And this person had identified 7 different types of rest that we need in order to keep from being stressed. And I would like to show it real quick. I'm not going to read it. You can make sure you go to our Facebook group and you'll be able to see it. But there are 7 types of rest. You either need physical rest, mental rest, sensory rest. That means putting down your cell phone, not worrying about who's sending that notification. Save it for tomorrow. 4, creative rest, emotional rest, social rest. Sometimes it's just best to be by yourself and not be in the limelight or be with a bunch of people, just so you can just reflect and enjoy life, or just enjoy it with your loved ones and not with a bunch of outsiders. And the last one is spiritual rest. So I have that chart in the Cue It Up podcast group page. Check it out when you get a chance. And do you have anything else you want to add?
I think I appreciate everybody coming in tonight and the questions and the different comments and answers that everybody has given. It's to me, I think we're hitting on some great topics. Just like the other shows, they're hitting on great topics too. And we want to make sure everybody feels welcome here. And again, like, this is not just going to be about DJs. We're going to start incorporating photographers, videographers, hopefully get a venue manager on here also. It's not just the DJs that are stressed. It's not just the DJs that have to do this or do that. Everybody plays an important day, especially in a couple's wedding day. Everybody, we're one whole team. We have to work together, but the leader of that team, and it's sad to say, is the DJ. It's like everybody comes to the DJ. Well, what time are they doing this? What time are they doing that? Okay, we gotta let the kitchen prep know. We gotta let this one know. We gotta let that. So the DJ is basically the DJ is like the center in football and like the catcher in baseball. The catcher is the only one that can see the whole field. Same thing with the center. He's the only one that knows, him and the quarterback know where the play is going. And they're seeing the whole field and they're doing what they got to do. So we're the same way. We see the whole field and we got to move people and do things accordingly so everything runs smoothly for the couple. I try to tell every couple, I'm going to try to alleviate most of your stress. I can deal with it. I've been doing it for 21 years now. So leave that to me. If you have a problem with one of your bridesmaids or groomsmen, give me their phone number. I'll call them up. But I did. I called a couple of bridesmaids up. I called a couple of groomsmen up. Say, how about laying off Jack a little bit? Because this is his wedding. It's not your wedding. You're married already. Did your groomsmen put you through this? Oh no, Mike, they didn't. So well, why are you picking on Jack then? So it's sometimes you got to play that little mediator. You got to be a psychiatrist. You got to be everything. So just take the stress with a grain of salt. If it gets too much for you, best thing to do is talk it over with friends. If not friends, seek medical attention. And BJ, you may have been doing it for a long time, like myself, 21 years, but sometimes you get to a point at a job that you have to step back and maybe switch it up, not do weddings or not do karaoke or whatever you're specializing in, switch it up to a different form of DJ. And sometimes you might have to give it up completely. You step back and hire DJs that work for you. So that's why try to cover that stress point there.
Okay, good advice. And before we head on out, I always want to head out with a message. So this week's fade out message goes like this. Burnout doesn't always come from overworking. Sometimes it's from not resting right. So let's keep that in mind. Sometimes it's better to, if you're doing something and you can't find the solution, sometimes it's better just to walk away, do something totally different to get your mind off of that, and then come back with fresh eyes, and then you end up coming up with the solution. Just like with me coming up with the solution of all the technical difficulties that I was dealing
Yes.
with last week.
Yes. Thank God for Wayne here. Big shout out for him. He did all the technical stuff behind the scenes here. Um, I don't want to say I'm here for the ride. I just my hands are tied up with my mom. So Dwayne is taking it upon himself to basically do all the production of this show, do all the building up the questions, everything like that. So I want to give a big shout out to Dwayne.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you so much, man.
And thanks, Kevin. He said, cool chart.
Thanks, Kev.
And while we're doing shout outs, before we head on out, let's shout out a new member since last Thursday. And that new member in the Cue It Up Facebook group page is Michael Sullivan from Spark Entertainment Services LLC. So let's give a round of applause to Michael.
Michael. Hey, good name, Michael.
And make sure you follow us. My handle is Hitman DDub, and you can find me on all those social networks. What about you, Mike?
I'm DJ Mikey Mike. I'm on YouTube, DJ Mikey Mike on Facebook, DJ Mikey Mike underscore 45 on Instagram, and also DJ Mikey Mike on Instagram that way too.
Okay. And as we had said earlier in the broadcast, make sure you check out
Okay. There you go.
All right, let me copy.
Thank you, buddy.
Where is it?
Thanks, DJ Blitz School.
Let me try to move my things back up. Oh, oh, here it is. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
And can you see the like our TV guide?
No, not up there yet.
All right. Is it there now? The Mondays.
There we go.
Okay. Yep. Let me see if I can try to say it out. Okay. Again, on Mondays, we have Time to Shine with DJ Cool Thing. He deals with DJing with a disability. Then on Tuesdays, we have the DJ Roundtable led by Buddy from TBM Productions. And he deals with the more of the wedding aspect and the gear and the dealing with vendors. And then he also deals more with equipment as well. And then on Wednesdays, we have the DJ Business School by Sean. And he deals with promoting yourself as a DJ, promoting yourself as a business, working on your website and working on your presence online. And then on Thursday, you have me and DJ Mikey Mike with the Cue It Up DJ podcast. And we pretty much deal with everything else in between to try to wrap everything up for the not only the new DJs, but the older DJs as well. And also, we're dealing with vendors, and you don't have to be a DJ. You can just be a music lover. We love to hear what you have to say, so we can get that perspective from someone on the other side of DJing. And then on Friday, that's the time that we're getting ready to gig, hopefully. So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow all the DJs that's up here on this primetime DJ lineup. And this will also be posted in our Cue It Up DJ group page. So if we don't have anything else to say, do we have anything in the comments?
No, I think we're good. I mean, even if they're a guest at a wedding or a guest at an event, send them over. If they may have a question for us that they want to ask the DJ, and we could guide them to how to ask the DJ. Sometimes some guests come up and ask the DJ something very ignorantly, so hey, ask us. We can guide them into asking the DJ the correct way, so the DJ doesn't have to deal with the stress of that angry guest at a wedding or an event.
And also remember, you don't have to wait until the showtime to ask a question. You can visit each one of these shows have their own Facebook group page. So first, make sure you join our group page. Therefore, if you join our group page, then you'll be able to find their group page. And then you can just type in the comment section and leave a comment and ask your question. And one of us will be sure to try to answer it. If we don't have the answers, then we'll find someone that knows the answer and get the answer to you. So with that said, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on another episode of our Cue It Up DJ podcast. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Thursday. And make sure you join the other guys Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I think I might have said the DJ Business School's time. His is not at 9 o'clock. His is at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. Everybody else is at 9 o'clock Eastern. So with that said, take care. I hope you have a good one and see you next week.
Happy Easter.
I rise like the sun while the world still sleeps. Scouring the sights looking for new leads. Marathon gigs with no in between. Your worth is from a rear view they seen. They want to party, but I'm battling fatigue, chasing passion while my mental is still out on leave. It's an everyday hustle, so respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Cue up the pressure. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. rooms in the booth where the DJs dwell. Clubbing is a struggle like it's all I've got. Set it up, break it down, travel to the next spot. Ambitions, the engine stay sharp like a tool. Revving through my gigs, power drinks is fuel. It's an everyday hustle, we'll respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Pressure, cue up the pressure. The pressure, pressure, cue up the pressure. Pressure, pressure, cue up the pressure. The pressure. Cue up the pressure.
Great show.